Hello internet, this is a video explanation on that video named If You're in Danger and Your Life is Threatened. So this video, I'm at Ealing Broadway and it's peak hour, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, so everybody's finishing work, is getting very busy, and obviously the bus have to be on time. If you're delayed during peak hours, there is no way that this bus is going back on time. So as a result, the whole service is going to be late if you are late for some reason. So here I stop at the Ealing Broadway station at 36 seconds into the video, and I depart from here at 1 minute 16 seconds. So at this bus stop I am staying for over 30 seconds. And honestly, if you are not on that bus stop, then you are just late for the bus when the bus departs. So there is nothing that I can do. It's your problem, it's your fault, it's not my fault. So what happens is, at this point, 1 minute 13, the doors are still open, a passenger is coming, so let's unmute and see what happens. So last passenger comes, nobody else is coming. I close my door, and now I know that this traffic light is being red for a while, so it is about to change to green. And in my mirror I can see the car. The car is stopped behind the bus, far away. So they're waiting for me to depart. I have my indicator on. I'm turning my steering wheel because I know this car is waiting for me to depart. This driver is staying there because of me. So I'm making that person stay there. Spends time behind the bus, giving me opportunity so I can merge into traffic and continue with my journey. So what happens? The cars are stopped there, they're waiting. This guy goes in the other lane. So a first passenger comes and knocks on the window. Now, yes, he knocks on the door window. So what's the big deal? Somebody of you will say, well, the big deal is this. Closing doors, that's a TfL policy, Transport for London. If you are waiting to board the bus and the doors close, please wait for the next bus. Do not distract the driver, as they will need to leave the stop safely. Instead, what that passenger does, he knocks on the door. So from this point on, he's already been requested in writing not to do it. He's been requested in writing, in written notice. That's on a lot of bus stops. That's a TfL rule. So at this point, he's distracting me because I'm just pulling away from the bus stop. The bus is literally moving as he's knocking on the window. So the door is closed. He's violating a written rule for the TfL. It's a request. So what happens? Yellow. At this point, cars are departing. So there is a bicycle. What happens if he knocks on the door and I have to look at this moment there, and that bicycle is closer into my lane and I'm departing and I'm distracted by him? This bicycle goes under the bus. So that's why you don't knock on the doors of the drivers when they are departing from a bus stop. You can see the bicycle. It was literally behind the bus. If that cyclist was not as careful as he was, if that person have knocked on the door at the wrong moment and distracted me, we will now have a casualty on the road because that person is reckless. So up until this point, he's reckless, he's disrespectful to the driver, disregarding. So he was late for the bus, so big deal. The next bus is in 10 minutes. So at the traffic light at here, it's red and I'm stopping. So I stop here waiting for the green light and I'm just waiting, just continuing my journey. minding my own business. And what happens now? The bus is stopped here, and that passenger comes, and now he just opened the door from outside. You can see my hand is nowhere near the controls. I never press those controls, and you can hear the emergency door release alarm going on, that beeping. That beeping is the emergency door release alarm. So emergency door release, as the name suggests, is to be used only in emergency situations. If you are late for the bus, if you are late for work, if you missed your bus stop, if you're on the wrong bus, that's not an emergency situation. You are not to use it. Using the emergency button in non-emergency situation is a by-law offense, and you can be prosecuted. So at this point, this person commits a by-law offense, which is also major breach of safety. So let's continue what I am doing. I activate obviously the emergency, the hazard lights. I switch off the bus because at this point I did not even look at his face. I don't know who is entering, and I don't care who is entering. All I care is the safety of the bus. So I'm assuming is that person. I'm assuming. I don't know yet. And over here what I'm doing is I'm pressing a code blue, and also I'm making an announcement inside the bus. I'm opening the doors because somebody is speaking from the back of the bus. I don't know what's happening. I can see on the mirror. Maybe you can see nothing is happening, but there is a lot of bullshit happening, and that person screaming at the moment, shouting, "Driver, can we go home please?" Well,
we're gonna wait for the police to escort that gentleman out of the bus. Until then, this bus is not moving.
obviously at this point there is two rules broken. He knocked on the door, distracting the driver when the bus is departing, and he improperly operated a door emergency release.
So yeah, don't do that ever again.
At this point, we're deep into trouble. And the passengers are moaning. That guy. If you listen, actually, that there is a lady that speaks about him, the passenger, that she tells him if he misses the stop, just wait at the bus stop and wait for the next one. She's I don't know, maybe she's speaking to me that I have to wait at the bus stop and open the door for him. I don't know what they're saying, and I don't care what they're saying. I'm the driver, and I decide what is safe and what is not safe. So we're staying here and the car starts going around us. It's a bus. So they're saying he paid, there is no issue. And yes, from your point of view, there is no issue whatsoever.
Okay. I'm terminating at the next bus stop, guys.
Now the passengers, they have no right to argue with the driver. There is a situation on board. That situation, the severity of that situation, the driver is the one that assesses the severity of the situation, not the passengers. Now obviously I cannot stay here and wait for the police forever, because I'm at the worst place. However, during those situations, I can stay. Nobody's going to tell me anything. And that's a bus. Nobody's going to move that bus. I have the key for that bus. And without that key, this bus is not moving anywhere. So if I leave the bus, this bus stays here until a recovery comes, which is going to be hours. So I'm the only person that decides what happened with that bus. I'm not going to be fined, because as I already stated, there is two rules violated. There is a situation on board, there is a bylaw offense as well. So there is nothing that I will be accused of improper parking or improper stopping or anything like that, and I had the doors open just in case something stupid happens on board. So what happens next? I decided that, there is too many people on board, and those too many people are in confrontational state of mind. They speak against the driver, which you don't speak against the driver of the bus that you are on. You're not supposed to confront the driver in any way, especially if the bus is not stopped at the bus stop. Under no circumstances you confront the driver. That's also breach of the rules of the TFL. It's for safety reasons that you cannot distract the drivers. Like, you never know what's happening, and usually you as a passenger never have the full picture. So at this point I'm just going towards the next bus stop. So let me speed forward. We're going toward the next bus stop. So here the bus stops, there is a parked lorry on double yellow there, the usual double yellow. You can see it's double yellow, so the lorry is parked there doing delivery. There is always, during peak hours, one lorry that is over here. Sometimes it's not there. However, during peak hours there is a articulated lorry always after the traffic lights over there. So yes, I'm having only one hand driving and my attention is towards the signboard control, which I deemed that situation to be emergency situation, and because I deemed that situation to be an emergency situation, when you have emergency situations you are allowed to use electronic devices and drive with one hand. That's okay with the police, that's okay with the DVLA. If the situation is emergency, if there is any emergency situation, you can do it. That's okay. So because it's my judgment, I decided it is emergency, so that's why I'm doing it. So I cannot go through, so I just stop here waiting for the cars, and I cannot squeeze through, so that car I just flash it so they can go through, and I'm waiting. And at this point I also did a code blue, which is a non-emergency. It is just to update what's happening on the bus, and in my state of mind I was incapable of giving them the proper information on the code blue call, as you will see.
Hello, there was a guy that boarded the bus in the middle of the traffic junction, so I will be terminating the next bus stop to empty the whole bus, because when that guy came inside, other passengers started complaining that I'm trying to get that guy out of the bus and I'm refusing to drive. So basically I will terminate this service to the next bus stop because of passenger entering the bus in the middle of traffic lights.
So that's enough. Passengers don't enter the bus in the middle of the traffic lights. It's simple as that. So let's go to the bus stop.
It's breaking up.
Now I go to the bus stop, I'm stopping, I'm opening the doors, I'm terminating the service.
Lights in the middle of lights and open. This is not.
So now there is the guy that comes to make the speech.
Happening.
The speech that will change everything.
A red buses don't.
So a lady asked for a ticket. However, red buses, they are not owned by the TFL. Because the red buses are not owned by the TFL, they are not allowed, they are unable to give TFL tickets. Yes, that's a TFL service, but the bus is not TFL owned. That's where the buses are at the moment. They are not owned by the TFL, they are providing TFL services, and therefore they are unable to give tickets for TFL services.
So here is the thing, this is a red bus. Red buses don't issue tickets. If you have any complaints, go and address them with the Mayor of London or TFL.
And now here comes Mr. Smarty Pants. That is, by the way, this guy is wearing a jacket. And that jacket, guys, is part of a uniform of a prison officer. So the person that just come, you can see him in that mirror, that person is wearing a prison officer jacket.
I'm terminating because I choose to terminate because there is a dangerous person on board and I don't feel safe driving with the person that boarded the bus at the traffic lights.
So here I explain to him the reasoning. And I'm a driver, my decision is final on that bus. There is no amount of negotiation that will change my decision, especially when safety comes to be in question.
Which dangerous person?
So he's clueless, like, which dangerous person? Like, come on. So the prison, the guy that is wearing a prison officer jacket deems that when passengers enter in the middle of the traffic lights by operating the emergency door release, he thinks that which dangerous person?
The person that boarded the bus at the red traffic lights. Listen, I'm the driver, I decide if I'm driving. I don't feel safe when there is a person that boarded the bus on traffic lights when they were red and just entered for no good reason at all.
So what he says, this issue could have been avoided. And yes, it could have been avoided indeed. If the passenger closing the doors, if you're waiting to board the bus and the doors close, please wait for the next bus. That's how this issue could have been avoided. Not by operating the emergency door release to gain access to the bus without the consent of the driver.
If you had waited 5 seconds at the bus stop.
So 5 seconds, all the cars that were next to me and those traffic lights, they just went green. So the moment that you have your indicator on, that's the moment at which, when you have your indicator on, this rule applies. Because you close your doors and you turn on the indicator on that you have intention to merge into traffic. So if the doors are closed, that's it.
Listen, the rules,
5 seconds.
those are the rules, those are the rules,
He got there before you moved on.
those are the rules.
And this guy keeps saying 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Well, sorry mate, but I don't care about 5 seconds. There is safety rules, they're in place for a reason. So the other thing is, it's peak hour, and you can see that car, the HIF Toyota Yaris, whatever, is parked on double yellow right in front of the bus stop. So you guessed it, they're parked in double yellow. So let's see what happens.
If the doors are closed and I have my indicator on, the doors don't open.
Say, who are you going to call? The police?
No, I'm not calling anyone.
You can't say, I don't feel safe.
So now this guy goes ballistic. He starts creating his own version of events.
He's in the bus. I won't move. Call the police. That's what they are there for.
I don't.
Actually,
Now he says call the police, that's why they are there for. The reason is, for me not calling the police, it's 6 o'clock, it's peak hour. So I'm not calling the police for any reason, because the police response time is going to be an hour at minimum at that time of the day. And yeah, if you are a criminal, yeah, you know that. So even if you're not a criminal, you still know that the police comes very, very slow. And especially that's not an emergency situation, because not an emergency situation, they will not be in a hurry to come to that bus. And by the time that they arrive, there is no way that any passenger is going to be still on board, let alone the person that used the emergency door release. So there is no point whatsoever to call the police. It's a waste of their time, it's a waste of taxpayers' money as well. So this guy is, let's go ahead and hear what he have to say.
you want to have a chat with the police about your attitude.
The police cannot tell me.
So he wants to have a chat with the police about my attitude. Good logic, excellent logic.
Passenger,
Listen, nobody can tell me to drive this bus.
nobody can.
If I
But
refuse,
if you feel
that's it.
unsafe, if you feel that you are in danger, your life is at threat,
No,
So now he says, your life is a threat. Now, that's the name of the whole video, guys. Those two videos, they are named after the words said by the passenger. They are not named because the situation is life-threatening situation. They are named after the stupid stuff that this person says.
no, it's not life threatening.
that's what you do. If someone gets in the car
Now he says, that's what you do.
and is threatening,
Yes.
you call the police.
I said
So he says, if something is threatening, you call the police. That's what you do. So the person wearing a prison officer jacket uniform is saying that if something is threatening, is dangerous, you call the police. Well, sometimes you can sort out those things yourself. It's not always the police have to be involved. Like if you are capable, if you feel secured, if you feel safe handling that situation, if you feel confident. Well, confidence is not what you need to feel. You have to feel safe before everything you do. So if you have to feel safe before you handle any situation.
I don't feel. No.
You call the police.
I said
You can't just stop the bus and say, I feel threatened, so I will drive. He's in the bus. You feel threatened, you call the police.
And there goes. The passengers agree with him, everybody is happy, and you guess it, everybody's
So
out
please
of the
do
bus.
Call the police so that we can have a chat with the police. As a matter of fact, yeah, is this being recorded? You have a number. This is ridiculous.
So now they start asking about my employee number and my name, which, as I already stated, red buses are not owned by the TfL. They just provide TfL services. And because they're not owned by the TfL, I don't work for the TfL as a bus driver. Because I don't work for the TfL, I'm not a public service. I'm not a public... I mean, the bus is public service, but I am not a public servant because I'm not paid by the public money. I don't serve the public. The bus serves the public. I'm just a driver. And I work for a private company, not for a public or government company. And that private company, they pay my salary. It's not the TfL that pays my salary.
Absolutely ridiculous. Disrespectful to every single person on this bus who've been out in the cold working all day, just wants to get home.
So all of them are out in the cold, working all day. And you guessed it, I am not working all day and I am not out in the cold all day. It's just them. The driver is, I don't know, maybe I was home all day. Maybe I was home all day and I just arrived and started driving the bus.
Because of your pride and your ego, you say, I feel threatened by.
So he mentions pride and ego, but that's the thing, like, no matter how big your ego is, how big your feeling of self-importance is, how important and entitled you feel, you don't operate the emergency door release in non-emergency situations. That's just a bylaw offense. It's simple as that. I have a video on that. I'm going to be uploading this video by the end of the month, so you can see that in more details there.
By a guy who you refused to pick up at the bus stop in the first place.
So now he's saying that I refused to pick that passengers from the bus stop in the first place. So now everything is my fault.
Jesus Christ!
I never said I'm threatened. I said
It's exactly your words. You
So, as you can see, he is just too much stupidity in that video, guys. I don't know. There is no point in me commenting. But
feel unsafe. You are threatened.
My friend,
he's making false accusations at this point. So, a guy in a prison officer jacket is making false accusations.
Hi, good evening. I'm terminating this service. However, the passengers are refusing to leave the bus, so I need the police to empty that bus. Otherwise, I will not be continuing to drive.
So this is part 2.
So I'm just refusing to drive when that person is on board of the inside the bus, and because he's refusing to leave the bus, I'm asking for the police to escort them out of the bus before I continue driving.
You should have gone back and said that there's a passenger who got at the traffic light because I didn't pick him up when he was there.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't even know what the network management controller said. Like you cannot hear anything on the moment that guy is shouting.
Driving.
You should have gone back and said that there's a passenger who got at the traffic light because I didn't pick him up when he was there.
Okay, they said that they will get the police to me as soon as possible. And if I'm in trouble, to give them a call. But as soon as possible at 6 o'clock is gonna be 1 hour.
Okay, thank you. I'll wait here.
That is what you should have done. It's just being, you know, egotistic, and things like, okay, I'm not moving, blah, blah, blah. As a matter of fact,
So this guy's been having his speech here for a long time now, and I don't know what he's thinking he's going to accomplish with that speech. He's not accomplishing completely anything. So his whole speech and his false accusations and calling me egoistic and all of those things, it just
I wish the police gets here on time. Seriously. Attitude is bang out of order. Look, he was right at the bus stop, right there. Yeah? He didn't open the door for him to enter. For it's a gentleman at the back there. Okay? He didn't open the door for him to enter.
Could you give me your name, please?
now here comes the Karen that wants to meet the manager in some of the video clips. In this video she just wants my name.
No,
I am going to write a complaint.
no.
No, she has the right to ask your name. She has the right. If you don't
Now the prison officer person wearing the prison officer jacket starts creating his own version of the rules that she have the right to ask for my name. Well, guess what? You don't have the right to ask for anything on that bus. I'm not a public servant. The only right you have is to use the service, to use the emergency door exits if there's emergency situation, and to use the disabled people's ramp and the kneeling of the bus as well. Like there is very few things that you have the right to ask on that bus. This bus stops at the bus stop and leaves from the bus stop, and that's it. You cannot ask much more than that. We don't issue tickets, we don't issue anything. And any of my information, even my name, if you see the bus drivers, there is a reason why they have no name tags on their uniform. There is a reason why they have no TFL signs on their uniform. We are not part of the TFL, and our personal information, our work information is not going to be available to you. That's why we have no name tags on our uniforms.
have your name, you have a driver.
Listen,
Don't give me your name then. Give me your driver number.
you have the bus running number is over there. That's the running number.
That is the bus number. That
I
is
just
multiple
want
drivers.
your
Right.
Listen, you don't get to get any of my information.
You know how it works.
Just your driver number, sorry. If you don't want to give me your name, that's fine.
I'm not a public servant. Because I'm not a public servant, you
I'm explaining to her. I'm not a public servant. Bus drivers are not public servants. But she's like, no, I want your name.
cannot have any, no, you cannot have any of my information.
I will write to them. 607, that's fine. They're all here for me.
And the bus number says driver driving bus M111.
The
So when you want to
red buses don't issue transfer tickets.
know the driver number, which driver and which train, which train is exactly what you got. That's how it works. So he has every right, but it's our right to demand, because he is driving the car, to demand his driver number. You don't have to give me your name and your address. But you
Anyway,
on board of the inside the
let's
bus.
just go
Okay,
forward
first of all, I think
now.
code blue,
Yes.
they can get your police. You need to call red for that.
So now I'm advised that I had to actually do code red so the police comes faster. But I was tired that day. I was fed up from all the stupid things that are happening. It was just one thing after the other, and I didn't want. There was no danger whatsoever, so that's why I didn't call for the police to arrive. That's why I didn't do a code red. There was no danger. And yeah, using the emergency door release, that's actually, you have to use code red in that situation to call for the police, so they come fast and hopefully they can get that person and prosecute him. But realistically, the police is gonna come in the best 15 minutes. That's the best case scenario. And yes, at Ealing Broadway, right where I am, the police station is over there. Literally the next bus stop is the police station, but there is nobody that's gonna come from there. So that's not how things work. Even if I stopped at that bus stop over there where the police station is, the police will still come in 1 hour to me. So yeah, that's a thing. Welcome to the anyway, let's go forward.
They also dead.
You're gonna follow.
He left the bus. He left the bus. I'll.
So I'm just telling them, updating the code blue, that I don't need the police. The bus is empty. The passenger, the offender left the bus. So you can see there is a bus here. That bus is stuck because of that car. So he cannot go forward. I cannot leave as well because there is a car parked on double yellow. So now we're staying here for like 5 minutes, creating the massive traffic jam in Ealing. All because a passenger couldn't follow a simple rule. All because that passenger was decided to use the emergency door release in a non-emergency situation. And because you have this guy over here, right here, parked on double yellow during peak hour. So I cannot leave. There is not enough space because this bus is literally next to my side. So if I turn right, I will hit that bus. So we're just standing here, chilling, you know, relaxing, having a nice evening. And I needed some extra time to cool down and to gather my thoughts to get into proper state of driving that bus. So you'll see now people starting here to notice that bus is not moving. There is a traffic jam build up, and what happens is there's a motorcycle. He comes here, start arguing with the driver. He's now arguing that this driver is not allowing the bus to go. And behind us, right over there, there is a T-junction. On that T-junction, now the whole road is blocked and nobody is moving. And if that driver here doesn't allow that bus to pass, this traffic jam is going to stay here until 7 o'clock, maybe longer. So some of the cars go to the bus lane, so they get a fine. That's it. Simple. They get a ticket. They start honking. They're impatient. The motorcycle guy keeps arguing with the car driver because he doesn't allow that bus over here to move forward. So let's keep forward. They just go into the bus lane. That's what happens. They go into the bus lane because they've been here for 5, even longer minutes. And this guy doesn't care. The motorcycle guy tries to convince him to let the bus pass, but it's fruitless, so just go. And we stay here, relaxing. Now more cars go to the bus lane at 7 o'clock, so they get tickets. It's not their fault, but they get tickets. That's it. So I'm like, you know, guys, there is people watching here what's happening. All of them come to watch here. Now there is East Haven behind me, and if this car doesn't move, I have to move somehow. because if I don't move, nobody's moving, because this guy is unwilling to move. But I cannot move because there is car on W, so we have to maneuver at tight corners. So this a guy comes here to guide me through. So this is where we are. Welcome to the London. London, the most fantastic place, the greatest of cities, where you have this guy and the guy that enters the bus on red lights with the emergency door release. So that's the whole video, guys. The bus is now empty and all of those people are now on the bus behind me. Did they get faster to their bus stop? No. Did that person that entered the bus with the emergency door release, did he travel on that bus? No. Did he have to go to the next bus that was coming? Yes. Was everyone delayed because he was too egoistic and too selfish and too entitled? Yes, everybody got delayed. All of those cars here, all of them got delayed because of him. And when I don't feel safe, I don't feel comfortable driving, I'm just not driving. That's the thing. You just stop. There is nobody with a weapon to your head telling you drive. No. If you don't feel safe and you don't feel comfortable driving, just stop. Gather your mind, gather your thoughts. Get yourself in a state where you are able to keep driving. That's the whole video. It's very simple thing, a very simple rule. Very simple rule. But when passengers ignore that rule, then that's when uncomfortable things happen to everyone. And as you can see in that video, that was hundreds of people. Some of those people got fined as well for using the bus lane. So because that person used the bus not in a way that the bus is meant to be used, he used that bus improperly, well, that's the result. So there is that explanation. So take care, guys, stay safe.